Hi everyone, it's just James here bringing you yet another video. Now I want to talk about something that's been really heavy on my heart lately, and that is, why did Thalia never cross over to the US? I am so curious to how this didn't happen. Now I'm not saying she didn't try, she definitely tried, but why didn't it work out? Well, I wanted to explore this topic, so I did a little research, and for those of you who don't know, I will give you a little backstory. Now, Thalia is an international pop star. Her origin is in Mexico. She has been famous since she was a very, very little girl. Like, she is a pop superstar in Mexico and the Philippines and worldwide, honestly. Like, she's famous quite everywhere. And especially in the States, but not so much on like the crossover English charts. And I always wondered what happened, because I know she did have a single and it did make some buzz, but there was never a follow-up after this that I'm aware of that, you know, had the same success. Let's get into it. Now, she got her start in the group Timbiriche alongside fellow Mexican pop star Paulina Rubio and a few others. And honestly, like, this was like a huge, huge deal in Mexico. Like, they had hits all over. And honestly, it also sparked a little feud that they've kind of played into, and they also say doesn't exist, but sometimes it does exist, between Paulina Rubio and Thalia. And from this group, she would go on to become a huge star of soap operas in Mexico with Maria de Barrio, Marimar, Rosalinda. She has a bunch of them. Like, just go on Tubi, you will find them. They are insane. Now, I cannot overstate just how famous Thalia is, okay? Like, we're talking massive superstar in Mexico and many other countries, especially from her soap operas. She's so popular that the theme songs to her soap operas became hit songs, okay? That is power. She has established roots in Mexico where she is a phenomenon, and she also crossed over into becoming a solo artist, and her artistry really honestly knows no bounds. You really think about it. Like, she's had so many different sounds. Like, originally she had more of an edgy rock sound, which didn't quite go over, and until she started embracing more of like the Latin side of her, and especially her music, she really started to see #1 hits come her way. So, she has established herself as a major pop star. Like, she is a superstar in Mexico. And come 2000, she married record mogul Tommy Mottola. 3 years after this, she would embark on an English crossover. And doing some research on this, I noticed that like her album had similar problems that JC Chazé's album had, where there was too many cooks in the kitchen, there was too many sounds going on here. The record didn't have a distinct sound. It was all over the place. Like, it had so many different kind of elements, and like watching interviews with her, she even claims this is what she liked the most about it, is the fact that like none of the songs sound the same. They don't have a similar sound. Like, some are rock songs, some are R&B songs, some are pop songs. Like, it was all over the place.
I love rock, and I love hip hop, and I love Latin music, and I love blues, and I love rap. So I just want to mix all of that, you know, like, and I told them, I sat with them and I said, hey guys, look, I love this rhythm, and then I'm this, and I'm feeling this music, and I'm feeling these lyrics, and we put it in a blender and we shake it, and kind of like an explosive margarita.
So it didn't have a distinct sound to like really help people gravitate to him. It kind of seemed like whoever was producing this album was just like throwing anything at the wall and seeing what would stick. But as I was listening to this album, like, some things kind of stuck out to me that like made me raise my eyebrow a bit. Like, I listened to a few songs that she had on there. Like, Another Girl is one that she talked about that she really, really liked, because it's like, you know, basically she'll share you with another girl. But I'm listening to the chorus and I'm hearing it, and it's like, wait, Thalia, that's not your voice. Like, the chorus is completely someone else's voice. And there's a few other songs on the album that have that problem. And it was kind of giving airs of like early Jennifer Lopez, where it's just like, you could hear Thalia singing on the verses, but when it comes to the chorus, she's just kind of snuck in while someone else is singing the entire chorus. It's weird. Like, I was wondering, like, is this just like a thing they did over at that record label? Like, what's up with that? But let's get into the hit. Yes, she did have a hit English song in the United States. The hit I'm talking about is the song I Want You, featuring Fat Joe. Now, it has a very notable sample of Big Pun in it, which you might recognize because Ariana Grande later sampled it for her debut song, like that dun dun, and it's a sample upon a sample of an old Brenda Russell song, A Little Bit of Love, which is also a banger of a song. Like, this song has some roots. But Thalia used a sample, and she had a great song. Like, you listen to it, it's like, She definitely has an accent when she sings, and it's kind of cute and charming, and like it's really, really cute. Like it's a very fun song, and it was more of an urban feel. And like you watch the video and everything, it's kind of giving like airs of Jennifer Lopez, which she even mentioned like she was very inspired by Jennifer Lopez, and even used some of the same producers, which also kind of explains why there's
other singers on choruses for some of those songs.
That tracks. That definitely tracks. But I Want You was a pretty moderate hit. It went to number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100, which, as far as I'm concerned, that's a great hit. People would die to have those kind of numbers nowadays, especially with the music industry. Yes, I Want You went to number 22, which is a really, really good debut. But the failed follow-up. So her follow-up singles, Baby I'm in Love and Don't Look Back, actually fared a little bit more success on the dance charts. They never cracked the Hot 100 though. Don't Look Back actually faced a little bit of criticism because people were saying it was almost derivative of Kylie Minogue's Love at First Sight. I listen to the songs, I don't really hear it. It's like the subtlest change, and a lot of dance music also sounds the same and is derivative of itself, so I don't know. I don't see it. And after these two singles, she went right back to making Spanish music. And again, like, this kind of happened a lot with Thalia's, like, album from this. Like, you could tell, like, she just wanted to be so many different sounds and seeing which one would work. And I honestly think had she explored this, like, pop R&B sound that was kind of similar to J-Lo, she probably could have, like, really had something there and, like, parlayed to doing a different sound later. So I'm kind of curious, like, why they decided to, like, do everything all up front, all at once. Like, why did you want to be everything on your first album? It's such a weird thing. And also, this is, like I said, very similar to JC Chazé's failed solo album, where it's like, there's too many sounds here. Like, you just gotta find one story. Like, it's not an EP, it's an album. So, like, it's gotta have a streamlined story that makes sense for your sound. Otherwise, you're gonna confuse your listener. It's just a bunch of singles thrown on an album. But needless to say, the album did fairly well, but she never really attempted a crossover after this. And bear in mind, Thalia was not hurting for a crossover in the United States, because as far as it goes, she's still really, really famous here. Like, she never was not famous. It's just she's not known for her English singing. Now, one could say a big reason as to why her career never really took off in the States is that, one, she didn't really promote the album that much, and two, she kind of waited too long to cross over. By this point, her contemporaries have already established their own sounds and really carved out their place in American music. You could say her withdrawing back into recording music in Spanish exclusively was honestly the perfect move because it helped set the groundwork for other Latin artists to push for American success. She has collabed with many up-and-coming artists that are huge today. Not to mention that trend of making Latin artists sing exclusively in English to experience success in the United States. It's not really a thing anymore. So many Latin artists have huge hits here in the States singing just in Spanish. Many artists she has collaborated with to help boost up their careers, which honestly I think is really cool, using your privilege to uplift other artists. And Thalia is not hurting for success. She's also a very, very, very accomplished designer. Her shoe line at Macy's is one of the most popular brands there. I know from experience, I worked in the women's shoe department for a whole holiday season, and people were obsessed with her shoes. They're cute. I wanted to make this video because I saw a few articles trying to examine the so-called lack of success she had with her crossover, and the thing is, she was successful. She got a hit song. Some even went so far to be so rude to say she's the poor man's Shakira, which honestly, I think just shows a tendency to conflate women and their success rather than see them as individual artists with entirely different careers. Thalia ain't the poor man's anybody, okay? The only time she's been poor is when she was Maria del Barrio. Like, she has a star on the Walk of Fame. Like, she's good. She's married to Tommy Mottola, and honestly, it seems like making music to her is kind of like a hobby, which I kind of love. Like, you look at some of her recent collaborations, like she has songs with Pablo Vittar, and a lot of indie artists she gives, like, kind of chances to. Whoever she's obsessed with that moment, she will put on her record to, like, give a little bit of her rub to, which I love. Like, that's honestly all she kind of uses her music for at this point. Because she's already had her hits, she's established herself, and now she's kind of just, like, putting herself out there to bring up other artists, which I think is actually really cool. But alas, exploring this, it kind of makes sense as to why this didn't work. Why her crossover didn't necessarily happen the way many other artists did. But alas, Thalia's album did not work, but she did score a number 22 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, which, like I said, is a pretty major success when it comes to your solo debut and crossover album. Like, that's pretty good. But I feel like, you know, she's not hurting for a crossover. She's doing just fine. So, Thalia, here's a salute to you. We loved the song, and honestly, we love your music now. She's got some bops. Check it out, okay? Do not sleep on Miss Thalia. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's just James, okay? And what did you guys think about Thalia's song, I Want You? Did you like it? Did you like the album? Did you listen to it? Because I listened to it, and there was a tone problem. I'll just say that. Let me know what you guys think. The conversation starts below. Until next time, bye! Well, it's over now. Click my next YouTube video. Like, comment, and subscribe.